Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Today's video I'm going to share with you a little behind the scenes from a recent film Noir Boudoir workshop that I ran. But before I get into that, I thought I would take you just on a little tour in the studio of how I set my lights up for this type of shoot. So let's jump in. Okay, so we've got Dexter in the studio today and I'm just doing a light setup. And Trixie too. Don't see her very often. So what I have got, and at the moment you can see I've got a rim light set up, which is just catching a little bit of light behind Dexter. So what I have got is I have got the Neewer HS60C. So this is the RGB color one, and I've got it set up with a magnum reflector and barn doors. So that is getting just my rim light on Dexter, and you can see the doors still open. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn on my next light, which is my main fill light, and it's probably a little bit too bright, so I'm just going to turn it down a bit. So that's on 75%. I've got everything on 5600 kelvins. This is the Zhiyun Mollis 200, and I've got the Neewer 65 centimeter quick release softbox on that, and that is giving me some beautiful, beautiful light on Dexter. When he looks at me, Dexter. So I've got main light and I have got spill light. Good boy. Now what I have got is the Neewer CB200 and the Neewer LS39, I think it is, spotlight. I'll double check that and I'll put the links below. And this is going to be my gobo, so when I turn that on, so that is giving a gorgeous spotlight to Dexter. Now I can reduce that, the softness and the sharpness, so by using this little knob here. So if I spin that round, I can make that softer, sharper, or smaller, depending on what I want. So that's quite sharp, or then I can bring that in so it's quite soft. And that's just by using, see you Dex, that's just using that little knob there. Now I can change the baffles here so it's not a circle. I can have it as a split. I can also put some gobos in there as well. So these are the little gobos, or the go-betweens that you get. So there's different shapes. So there's windows and Venetian blinds in here somewhere, and palm leaves. There's all sorts of things that you can play with, and they can give you different effects on your backdrop. But for today's shoot, I'm probably just going to stick with the good old film noir Hollywood style spotlight, and I will show you some photos for that a bit later. So as you can see, I've got my scene set up here, and if I look on the back of my monitor here, even though I've got the overheads on and the door open, it's quite dark and you can't really see much. I've got my settings on ISO 640, my aperture's on 5.6, and I'm on 1/125th of a second. But let's see what happens when I turn on the individual lights. So I have just turned on my rim light, which is just over there, and that's just giving a little bit of light to the back of the chair. So let's see what happens now when I turn on my main fill light. So that's with my main fill light setup. So it is now quite well lit. It's got a little bit of a rim light or a hair light, which I will adjust when my model comes in and sits down. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my spotlight or my gobo on. So now I have got a beautifully lit spotlight, as well as the main light, and of course my hair or rim light. So that is my 3 light setup for my film noir look. Okay, so now I have been joined in the studio by our performer Skye Medusa, and she is absolutely fabulous for this kind of shoot or workshop. She is a burlesque performer, so she really can play to the camera. So we just started off with just some basic things, just sitting. As I said, I had my 3 lights set up, so I had my hair light, my main light, and the spotlight. And we were just taking turns. We had quite a full workshop this time, and we were just taking turns and going through and doing various sitting poses. We then did I've chopped her head off. I keep forgetting to change the behind the scenes camera, but we did some more standing poses. Again, we were just using the chair as sort of like a prop, and we were just doing some basic stuff here. You can just see people standing on the edge. We then brought in some props. So I have this gorgeous vintage perfume bottle. We also had some fans and other things as well. I have this like fake cigarette that actually kind of looks like it's glowing, so it's pretty cool. It's just a movie prop, and I've got it on one of those very sort of 1920s 30s cigarette holders, so that's always fun to play with. We'd swapped out the chair as well, so I got rid of the bentwood chair and brought in this beautiful vintage velvet chair that just looks fabulous for this kind of shoot. And we had Skye just sort of reclining and climbing and laying all over it, being all very, very glamorous. We then were sort of moving in and getting some more close-up shots, more stylized headshots and things like that, all very glamorous and gorgeous with the fabulous makeup and all the rest of it that Skye did. And I'll just show you a few of the images that I took. I don't normally take a huge amount during the workshops, but I just thought I would take a few just to put some of the shots up that we were getting. I've got this really cool sort of dressing screen in the studio, and we pulled that out and we were doing some sort of cheeky little sneaks behind the screen. I do apologise, I've again cut Skye's head off, but I'm sure you get the idea. So we were just doing a few cute things. We were pulling off gloves and just doing sort of some cute little poses with the screen. So just a few cheeky little moves that we were doing. Said we had the whole burlesque glove pull, and we did the glove drop a couple of times, so that was lots of fun with people trying to capture the action on that. We had the sort of the leg reveal, and then we had this one with the legs sticking out, which was quite cute. Then we did the bra drop, so that was loads of fun, and we kept it kind of PG, but we did have some fun playing around with that. So here are some more photos. So next we actually popped Skye on the floor, and you can see me playing around here. I put the Venetian blind gobo into the Neewer spotlight so that we could get sort of this look of light coming through a Venetian blind, and I was just adjusting the lights. Because she was now on the floor as opposed to standing up, I had to bring the lights down lower and aim them more at Skye. So we just worked our way through, got some poses there, got some more photos, and just trying out various different poses and things like that. Next we did a costume change, and we went for this sort of 1940s houndstooth outfit. Skye was really sort of hamming it up and playing. She had the whole martini glass, and there's a bottle of poison. It's just coloured water, but it's got arsenic printed on the outside of it, so I quite like having that. And then here she's playing the grieving widow, so she's giving her hubby a little extra special drink, and then she's bereaving him, and she's then playing with, we've got a whole heap of fake diamonds, so she was sort of playing with the diamonds. So she's a bit of a gold digger, and she caught them. And then, so we were throwing them up in the air and making a mess with them, and everyone was scattering around trying to catch them. Here's a little bit of a slow motion of it. So we were just throwing them up and capturing the action. Because we weren't using flash, we were using constant, some of the shots were a little bit on the blurry side. We then switched out and got rid of the chair and did some more posing standing up. And she was using this fur stall as like a fur muff, I guess, and we were playing around with those. So I'll pop up a couple of more images. So that's the arsenic bottle, which is kind of fun. We always seem to pull it out when we do these femme fatale type shoots, and that's one of the fake diamonds. And that was trying to capture the diamonds. We then had this idea. I had this is 8 meters of red silk. We did try to sort of tie it up behind her. It wasn't really working, so we ended up wrapping Skye in the silk, and we were doing some posing on the floor and getting some sort of goddess vibes, and just generally sort of mucking about with that. We did some sort of sitting up ones, we did some laying down ones, we did more sort of, cutesy ones. You probably just saw the little clip on the back, because we were using that to keep it held up. We then laid the silk out on the floor and had Skye laying on it, and I pulled the ladder out so we could either just stand over the top and get some shots, or those who wanted to climb up on the ladder could get some great shots looking down on Skye from there. So I moved the camera around a little bit so you could sort of see what we were doing. But that was pretty much how we finished off the workshop. So we had a huge amount of fun, had lots of people in there with some fabulous shots, and here's just some of the ones that I took from up on the ladder and so forth. So when I get some of the participants' photos together, I'll try putting a collage together of all of their images, so that'll be fun to have a look at. This is just some more of the ones that I took. This was just such a fabulous workshop. I really enjoyed offering something a little bit different, and this is just all of us at the end doing a group shot. It's me trying to jump in. I don't know what I was doing. I look completely stunned in this photo, but that's all part of the fun and games. So that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this little behind the scenes at what goes on with one of my workshops. Big thank you to everybody who came, and of course our wonderful performer Skye. If you like this video, why not give it a bit of a thumbs up, hit that like button, maybe even subscribe. It does mean so much to me and my channel. So that's it for today, and I will see you next time on YouTube. Bye.